Another year's gone by. I'm so glad you're with me. The way you lift me up with the love you give me. It's good to know that you'll be mine when days are blue. Oh, what a dream come true.
Welcome to the Orange is the New Black podcast. I am Rob Southgate.
And I'm Martha Southgate.
And we are talking Season 7, Episode 9, The Hidey Hole. Martha, what does Netflix have to tell us about this episode?
You're so formal.
It's early.
Competition forces Daya to find a new mule. That's a little hard to say. Piper decides to come out as a felon. Carla asks to leave for a custody hearing, and Shawnee confides in Nikki.
Lots of stuff.
Yes. All right. Why don't we start with Carla and Blanca?
Okay. Yeah.
So
This was a tough one. This was a sad one.
it's really sad, but it looks like Gloria is going to be their saving grace here.
Yeah.
So Carla finds out that there's a hearing in 2 days for her to fight for custody of her kids.
Right.
If she doesn't get there and she has no family or friends who can go, then she will lose custody.
Right. And it's because they're sitting there looking on the internet, because they're doing this research to find any of this out.
Yeah.
And
No, she got the letter.
No, but I mean, yeah. She
What
got
are you
the letter.
talking about?
I meant that they know, like, the process. Like, she's like, immediately she goes, okay, I have to go ask for the form.
Yes.
And I don't know how we talk about this without talking about the Flocka story, because it directly affects it.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the Flocka thing's minor, but it has major implications. We talked in the last episode about how Flocka was trying to mess with this agent.
It's the ice guard.
Right. Litvak. And she decides, she sees his name, and it is K. Litvak. And she thinks, oh my God.
It's C.
Is it C?
Mm-hmm.
She thinks it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh yeah, it's Carlos.
Yeah.
That's his name. She thinks it's hilarious. And she's like, oh, that's the easiest way to get at him. And all my theories from last time are shot. She's not trying to go with her friend.
I told you.
It was a good idea.
It wasn't.
It was a good enough idea. So she decides she's going to, like, spread that around. And she does.
Well, she said when she was in school, giving someone a mean nickname stuck with them forever. She's like, that was the best way to torture someone. So that's what she did. And it is absolutely sticking.
Oh, it's sticking.
Even O'Neill.
Yeah. O'Neill couldn't say his name.
Nope.
Without saying it the new way. But because of that, everyone's like walking by kind of laughing at him. When Carla's in there talking to him, first of all, he's not being really gracious.
Oh, please.
He says some horrible stuff to her about, well, you shouldn't have come to this country if you were afraid you'd lose your kids. And
he said you should have thought of that before you came here illegally.
Right.
It just makes my blood boil.
Yeah.
And think about how insane this is.
It's so nuts. So he gives her a form, and she's like, well, this isn't going to help. Those take weeks to process. He's like, well, tough. And the reason he goes even further, like, I don't think he would have been helpful anyway.
Right.
But I think there was a degree of, I'll submit the paperwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas now they walk by, the inmates walk by, they're sniggling again.
And he's just pissed.
Yeah, and then he gets pissed.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So Flocka's prank is having repercussions even in this little area. This is a guy you don't want to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure she is not the first one to call him that. I'm sure when he was in school, he was tortured by this.
Maybe.
Okay, if he went to school with you, he would have been.
Oh, please. I am so nice.
You have a nickname for everybody from school. What's funny about it?
Yeah.
You still refer to them by that name. You don't do that to people now.
No. But well, I would hope not. I'd hope I've matured since then.
Has anybody listened to this podcast?
I don't need that kind of maturity.
So it's pretty
like a different kind of maturity.
Pretty funny. I'm sure somebody would have put that one together.
So do you think that what do you think's gonna do you think she's just gonna get to tell her kids but she's gonna lose custody? Or do you think that somebody's gonna step in and
maybe somebody will step in? Maybe Gloria will be able to tell somebody that will actually be able to help? Or
at least let her talk to them.
Yeah.
Because she has the phones.
Right. True. So at least they know I didn't give up on you.
I'm stuck.
Oh my God.
But see, they won't even tell her where the kids are. So Gloria's got to find them first. Ay. All right, Nikki. Nikki goes in. Red and Lorna are getting potatoes out of a box, or like peeling potatoes. Or
right.
And she needs the box. And
that's where the name of the episode came from. She built
her hidey hole.
Hidey hole.
Yeah. And a love nest, if you will.
Yes.
Red is just not engaging with her at all. And Lorna's mad at her.
Right.
So they wouldn't give her the box. She just took it, and then she created this barricade so that she and Shani can do the wild thing. Shani finally told her the truth that she had female genital mutilation.
Yes.
And
which we knew, but
we knew, yeah. I don't remember how we knew. I think we got spoilered.
Either we got spoiled, or I thought it was something in that episode where it was said, but it wasn't said in front of the other inmates or something.
I don't know.
I thought we knew.
Well, I think we knew because I got spoiled.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. But because they have cell phones now, Nikki was able to cyberstalk her, and like she read all of her Facebook posts and all that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's been an interesting element with them having access to each other in a way that would be normal for us, but they are
having that access
so
is
removed from that
really difficult.
They don't have access to any of their background or who they were before they came in.
Right.
Now having these phones, if anyone had a Facebook page or anything like that, they have that now.
Right.
So it opens up. Well, in some ways, it makes them more human, but I think probably in other ways, it's going to allow them to have maybe some power over each other.
Like what happened in this episode.
What I miss?
So Nikki used it
for good.
She wasn't stalking. She was just looking up.
No, but you know what I mean. Like she was like,
right.
She wasn't invited in. It was
it was, but at the same time, Facebook is a public place.
Yes, which they don't have access to in prison, so it becomes an unbalanced relationship.
Right. But it was used for the negative, if you remember, with our GED teacher.
Yes.
So.
Well, wait.
We don't have to touch on that yet. We can keep talking about Nikki. So Nikki and Shani. Shani comes clean, tells her the whole thing. Nikki's like, Nikki comes back to her later, and here's where she used it for good.
Yeah.
I did some research on this.
Yes.
And I want to try this. And Shani's like, many have tried.
Right.
No, she didn't say that. She said.
Along those lines.
Yeah. Something like,
good luck to you.
Good luck
on
with
your
this
journey.
But they're in it. They're going to try.
Yeah.
So I'm
still not on board with this relationship.
I think your problem with Shani
weirds me out because I think there's some agenda or something.
But I think that's the actress. Like she has a little bit of an accent that I think is making she'll talk a little bit slower and she'll emphasize her words a little bit. And I think in this situation, because we've had so many people that were hiding something,
makes you nervous.
Yeah, it makes you think that there might be something, but I think it might just be her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not getting those vibes now. I was, but I'm not. And I'm really thinking this is, as we're coming, I mean, we're barreling in on the end of the series. I think that, I think we're getting Nikki's resolution and it's positive.
Yeah. All right. Daya and her people.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
Trying to get to this GED guy. And they, once again, like you said, they were using Facebook and whatever. So Daya figured out he's got a son. She knows where he plays Little League and all of that. I mean, really scary.
Yeah.
And so they join she and Adiola. And I'm so mature today. See, I'm matured since
right.
the last recording.
The last one.
And the other one, who was their third? I always forget her name. Anyway, who cares? So they all join the class and they're rude. They're disrespectful, they're disruptive, and making fun of Doggett and all of that.
Yeah, they're a real problem.
And Doggett's grades are improving, so Tasty's working.
Oh, yeah, she's actually trying really hard, and
but they're
the other
not
thing
helping,
is,
are they?
You didn't say the reason that they're doing this to this guy. It's not just to torture him, which could be the case with some of them, which is why this is scary. It's Daya's doing it because they want to make him the new mule.
Yeah, absolutely. Because because of Aleda being back, Aleda has now taken over, and they're afraid they're going to lose their corner of the market.
Right, which
they're going to. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So yeah, they threaten the teacher, and
they threaten his son. Daya threatens his son.
Right.
Which is, it's really, really scary. So he quit.
Yeah. Now, I'm surprised by this. Well, maybe not. I was in the moment, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not. He didn't reveal why he quit. He said he quit because he had a sick grandmother.
Well, she probably has people outside that he's afraid of.
Oh, yeah. Well, they did hold a razor blade right to his male parts. And, and talked about his son. Yeah.
So he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Tally.
Yeah. So
I actually did have that in my notes. On the other hand, we got Caputo, who lost his teaching job.
Yep.
He got served a restraining order at work at the school he was teaching.
Yes.
And so that's
just as things were about to go up for him. The guy was asking if he'd teach another class.
He's so good. I know. But he really screwed up.
And his description didn't help. And his boss is like, okay, we're going to go talk to HR. It's like, oh, Caputo.
But he screwed. He's just God.
Continuing to screw up.
He just like the inmates when they get out.
Right.
Like he's not any.
He's no different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved Tasty and Caputo's reunion, and she thanks him for everything. And when she welled up, I didn't think I was going to survive that. And he wanted to meet with Ward, and she's like, not if it's bad news. He's like, never mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're not going to do this. I'm not going to heap on.
When she said the GED teacher quit, I thought for sure he was going to jump all over that and go, I'll do it.
Yeah, right.
But he's...
Well, that was what Ward was implying.
But he's in over his head.
Yeah.
With this restraining order, etc.
Yeah, he's got real problems. And now without their GED teacher, what's this going to do to Doggett?
Yeah.
So,
all right, do you want to do Alex and Piper or Cindy?
Alex and Piper, because that's quick.
You want to start us off?
Well,
we got there's a lot there.
There is a lot there, but it doesn't seem like Cindy is bigger stuff.
No, I mean, where do you want to start?
Well, Piper and Zelda are a thing now.
Yes.
They were at yoga together. Piper is still hiding, even though in the last one she was like, at the thing, like she came clean to Zelda. Mm-hmm. She's still hiding the fact that she was in prison. She's still not owning her life. And it's because of this relationship with Zelda, though, that she finally does. Mm-hmm. In a very awkward way at first, when she turns to the people at the yoga studio, and she's like, I can't do this because I was in prison.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious.
And she's like, I have to pay for probation fee. Or like... I have to pay my probation officer or something.
Yeah, right.
Parole.
And I barely make any money, so this is not going to happen. Well,
true to Piper's form, she's going to do it all in the most half-assed, obnoxious way possible.
Yes.
So it's not like she went, oh, let me pick and choose who I share this with.
Right.
And how she just gets like diarrhea of the mouth to every single person and does it at the worst possible time. So it's true Piper.
Yeah. So then her big thing is she wants to come out to her coworkers.
Yes.
And she does.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on. I didn't realize I had one. One's a little hot. Okay. So she does. She comes out to the coworkers, and it's a monumental thing in her head. Scene. They didn't care.
They didn't care at all.
Her dad, she was about to, and then she stopped because her dad walked in the room. He cared, but surprisingly, he really, once it was cracked open, it took the pressure off him. He seemed a lot more human.
Yes. And none of them she even owned the fact that she ate the one's cookie, and the one's like, oh, you guys got me a cookie. Right. Didn't even care. And then she's like, and I drank your tequila. She's like, right in front of the dad. She's like, what tequila?
Yeah. What tequila are you talking about?
So, but that's so Piper to like blow up everybody at the same time.
But none of them cared.
But they didn't care.
Which was really great.
Yeah.
So now Piper just owns it. She's just out there, which I think is great. And with her dad, that scene was really great.
Yes.
Piper being just like, I'm a new person. I'm honest.
Well, and I like that she called him out because he was still doing a holier than thou thing, and she called him out for cheating on her mom. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you knew about that." It's like, wait, so excuse me, Mr. Glasshouse.
Yeah.
So
and she didn't like. It wasn't typical Piper to use it. It just came out. She just said it like matter of fact, like, "Hey, hold on a second. Let's talk about this." Which it was interesting. It was not the Piper we've known.
Yes, she has had some growth.
She definitely has.
And he said she was doing a good job.
Yeah,
finally,
like, yes,
because she was. It's like, why did it take him so damn long?
Right. So I thought that was really great. So then, she goes to see Alex.
Yeah, she does. Well, first of all, Alex goes to...
want to talk about that first?
Well, it's so short. She goes to McCullough. They're putting the chargers on, and she's like, I hear some ways we could fit more chargers. And she tells McCullough, I'm totally on board with this, and I'll help you until you get back on your feet. Whereas McCullough had let her off the hook.
Right.
And so now, once again, Alex is making the absolutely wrong choice to stay mired in...
Yes. She's going right to it.
Which is why she's bad for Piper.
Right.
Because she just seems to always go
she got fed on it. You're really good at this. Yeah, well, that's what happens. Yeah, she's really good at it. At finding ways around and doing these illegal activities.
Yeah.
If she didn't have that broken filter, she'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she'd be the biggest asset to any business.
Yeah.
Because she's really smart and she really can figure things out. But her first thought is like, well, my moral compass is broken, so I can do this.
And so Piper goes to see her at the prison, and Piper tells her all about Zelda and her woods experience and burying the fetus and yada yada and all the people she's been with, and Alex just sits there,
right,
and does not. And McCullough's right behind Piper.
She doesn't tell her.
She doesn't tell her. And Piper's like, I'm on this whole honesty thing, and I don't want to keep anything from anyone. And Alex just sits there.
Yep, Alex is hiding, and when she kind of looks moony at McCullough, and Piper's like, oh, is she still being mean to you? She goes, no, not really.
And Piper's so oblivious because all she thinks about is herself.
Piper. Yeah.
So she did not catch on to that at all.
Right. But yeah, Alex is hiding. Yeah, I think we're careening towards this collapsing. And I'm okay with...
I'm totally good with that.
I'm okay with Piper and Zelda. I'm okay with McCullough and Voss.
I agree.
So,
all right, Cindy.
Okay, so we talked about
this
last
hurts.
episode. The letter had not arrived. It arrived. We saw her at home. She's happy. She's bubbly.
Before it arrived, she's making them this beautiful breakfast, which the girl wouldn't eat, and that kills me when they waste food on TV. But so they're sitting there getting ready for their day. Cindy is on it.
Yeah.
She's dressed for her interview. She's got 3 interviews lined up. She's got all this going on, right? And she's taking care of her family, and then she goes and does the job interview. And I loved that interview.
Yeah, she's going to be working in an old folks home, and she equates it to prison, and it's just really great.
Yeah,
and she talks her way into it, which is what Cindy does best. And she's funny and charming and does her thing. And she comes home to tell her mom, and the letter has arrived.
Yes.
The one that Tasty sent. And her daughter freaks out.
Obviously, for good reason.
Yeah. You've been lying to me, both of you. This is all a sham. The daughter was already a little angsty teenager earlier in the episode. But now she's fully blown up, and it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, her life was just revealed to be a lie.
Yes.
And the mom is trying to tell her look, you don't understand the circumstances. We have to talk about this. Cindy is dumbstruck.
Yeah.
Dumbstruck.
I don't know.
Hold on, let me say that again. Cindy is dumbstruck.
Yeah.
And all she does is she doesn't really do anything. She just can't believe it happened. She's just oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl, Monica, I think, leaves.
Yeah, Monica.
She's like, I'm out of here. Boom.
She went and spent the night at her friend's house.
And Cindy and her mom then have a blowout. And Cindy's reaction is to run away.
Well, and her mom, it's every time it just follows you.
Right.
What? And so, yeah, she was doing all these things and she was doing the right things. But just like Caputo, just like Piper, just like most of the characters on the show, something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And
that was kind of the theme
so
of the
no matter
episode.
what their best intentions are, something goes wrong.
Well, that was the theme of the episode, I think, is own your past.
Yeah.
Because if Cindy had just owned her past, if they had worked this out, it would have been a different result right here.
Yeah.
If Caputo had owned his past rather than trying to patch it, and he
there were so many things he could have done differently, and there were a lot of things that she could have done differently.
Right.
So she goes to leave, and her mom is sitting there and stops her, and her mom tried to fix it.
Yep.
And Cindy blew it the hell up.
Yeah.
And she said, I want you to stay. I want you to stay. That's all Cindy wanted. Why are you freaking blowing it up?
And
stay and fix it.
And we'll talk.
She's coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cindy could have stayed and tried to work it out.
Right back in her pattern.
Yep. And she left.
I'm out.
Yep. And now she's homeless.
Yeah, and she sees that homeless guy who you said was Frank from Shameless, which is amazing.
Yes.
What a crossover
that would have been a great cameo.
Boy, would he ruin Cindy's life.
Yes.
In 2 seconds. But she sees that. I'm thinking she's going to go back. And I'm hoping she goes back before Monica shows up so that Monica doesn't see that damage, so that Cindy can say, look, that was the old me.
Right.
I'm going to, you're right. I can't be that person anymore.
I don't know.
But I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know. She may be too stubborn. I don't know.
I
mean, she gave her every opportunity to fix it.
Doesn't mean that the heat wasn't still high in Cindy's head. I'm hoping Cindy cools off and goes back and realizes this is not what I wanted.
Yeah. All right, we got Laura. Wait, first we have Caputo, which we just touched on.
Yeah.
He and Fig are still trying to have a baby. And the stress of everything is making him have performance issues a little bit. But she keeps trying to convince him, just let it go, let it blow over, whatever, and
he can't.
And he can't. And he's trying to save his reputation. All right, Lorna. This is our backstory.
Yeah.
For this episode is Lorna.
Yeah, so we see her at the pool hall. She's got a boyfriend who kind of sucks. Her sister is there, and their friends come up to them, and they got engaged. And
no, they weren't friends. She didn't know those people.
Yes, she did.
No, she bumped into the guy. She didn't know them.
Really?
No.
They were really forthcoming with information for somebody you just bumped into.
Okay.
I thought they knew her.
She bumped into him. She was like, "Oh, sorry, whatever." And then she's like, "Oh, are you guys here?" So they were just chatting.
Oh, I thought she.
And then
knew
she's
him.
like, "Oh no, we just got engaged." She's like, "Oh, really? What are you doing?" You know, like,
oh, then they
no, it's that Lorna has boundary issues, so she over asks,
right?
And they were excited to share because they had this exciting news.
Because the other ones didn't care about these people.
No, they didn't know. She didn't know who they were.
They did,
and so she was jealous.
Yes,
and she's with this. She looks around. She's like, I want to be with someone like that. I want someone who's going to love me.
And he doesn't.
And that guy is a jerk. So she leaves him and decides to walk home.
Right.
And
we don't see what happens. We'll go out of order. We'll do it the order.
Do it whatever you want. Yeah.
She wakes up. She was in like a fugue state.
Yeah.
Because she wakes up. She has no idea what happened.
And she doesn't have her regular clothes. Like she's not wearing her
right
shoes.
Away I said she's wearing gym shoes. And then she finds herself like sitting at she was sitting at the Pelican Hotel, which is where those people said they got engaged or they were having their wedding.
Up in the rooftop. Yeah.
And she's wearing this big fur coat, and she looks, and there's blood all over inside.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm thinking she killed that boyfriend.
I thought she killed somebody.
I thought it was the boyfriend. I thought he showed up, and I really fell for that.
I did not. I knew it had to do with that couple, but I just didn't know what.
I thought the couple just triggered her.
Mm.
So she's in a daze. She's like, I don't even know what to do. She goes back to this like surf shop.
Well, she's trying to piece it together. So as she finds the clues, she goes and follows it.
Right.
So she knew she had been there.
Right.
So she went.
Right.
But she didn't look like she had ever been there before.
They have a purse, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you're back."
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. Dude, where's my car?
Yes.
That's what we're seeing. Is the Orange is the New Black version of Dude, where's my car?
Yeah, it's Dude, where'd this blood come from?
Dude, why my blood?
Where are my shoes?
Where are my shoes?
She has her shoes.
Yeah, her shoes broken.
Are in the purse.
So she gets her purse. She has her phone. 15 missed calls from her sister. She calls her sister back.
I think it was 13.
Okay. Whatever. And her sister's like, okay, it was 13 because you're 15 miles from home.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get her? She goes, I walked. She's like, that's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the flashback as to what happened. So she was walking home after leaving that boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She breaks her shoe, which we saw the broken shoe earlier. Car starts to pull up, honks. She thinks it's this boyfriend. So she takes a rock and throws it.
No, she threw the heel of her shoe.
No, she threw a rock. The heel of the shoe would not break the windshield. It would do nothing.
I totally thought she threw the heel of her shoe because it broke off.
No. Yeah, because it broke off and it was still attached to the shoe, like hanging there. No, she threw a rock. This was a little janky, though, because if you get hit with a rock, you're not going to go like completely out of control. Oh, no. And then boom.
How do you know?
No, it was a little weird, but it happened. She throws the rock. It hits the windshield.
Why wouldn't you lose control of the car if something flew at your windshield?
I'm telling you, if you watch that scene,
okay,
it's not severe enough that you'd lose control that way.
If something flew at my face in a windshield, trust me, I'm not driving straight.
So he is
for real.
But it hit on the passenger side. If you saw somebody throw something at you, You wouldn't like, panic! And then
do you even know me?
Okay, you would. Maybe he has your issues.
Right. So there you go.
Okay.
I think most people would because they're human. They're not robots like you.
Okay. And now the robot thing is here. So, yeah, he crashes into a work site. And
he crashed into a crane.
It was a backhoe.
Backhoe, whatever.
Yes.
One of those trucks.
So he crashes into a
Not
backhoe.
a whole work site.
No, it was a work site,
just
though.
a vehicle.
But they were working there.
Oh, for gosh sakes. He crashed into a vehicle.
Yes, he crashes into a construction
a backhoe
vehicle. And she gets it's the couple that got engaged. She gets launched through the windshield. He's dead, bloody behind the wheel. I mean, they're clearly injured, dead, bloody. And Lorna just snaps.
As right she should, jackass.
No,
not
I
you.
agree.
I mean, she's the jackass.
Yeah, that's why she went.
How about you make sure that you're throwing it? Well, don't. Okay. How about you don't throw rocks at people or your shoe heel, whatever it is. And how about you make sure before you actually whip things at strange cars?
Yes. Martha, make sure.
I don't do that. So here's the issue. So she and Nikki.
Yes.
In this time period, not the flashback, are looking through the phone at Shawnee's stuff, and Lorna is looking at her social media and realizes that somebody has taken down all of her pictures that she stole of other people's children and claimed were Sterling. And she is freaking out. And Nikki's like, well, what? You have them all saved. What does it matter? Because any parent, those would be their personal photos and they would have had them saved. Lorna, they're not her photos. So she doesn't have them. And so she's upset. Vinny comes to see her and he tells her, I'm the one who took them down. I reported you.
Right. Yeah, this is causing so much pain.
Yes.
You got to stop this.
He's not alive. Our son has died and I can't grieve. You're making my grief so much harder because you're making it seem like he's still alive. So she wasn't facing reality while he was sitting there. And he said, if you can't face reality, we need a divorce. We need to break up.
Right. I can't do this anymore.
And that she sent her again into a fugue state.
Yes.
And now she's missing. Well, according to they had to put the
they had to go on lockdown. At first they're like, she's
prison on
lockdown.
There.
Like,
okay, it was coming out eventually. Yes.
And
then they found her shoes.
Yep.
So she's totally reliving, taking the shoes off. She's wandering the halls, and she ends up walking outside some door, and there's sunlight.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Right, that's reality. Right. But I'm saying this is what we saw.
Right, it's what we saw. But there was a moment just before that where she, all of a sudden, it lit up, and she kind of went
mm-hmm.
She may or may not be walking outside. It may just be what her brain is interpreting. I'm here in heaven to find Sterling or something. I don't know. When we come back, I don't know what we're going to see.
Right.
She could be anywhere.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. And she was running and panicked and everything, but she definitely went deeper at some point. So I really don't know if Lorna is long for this.
No. We're going to find out on the next one. Let's go.
All right. So find us on social media. All our links are in the show notes. Look for Orange is the New Black podcast. Look for Orange Podcast. We've got a spoiler thread. Get in there and talk to us about the episode. Talk to us about the season. And, that's it until next time. Inmates, back to your cells.